Miss Marsha Porter, you are running for place 5 on the Conroe City Council for this election.
That's correct.
So, first of all, I just want to ask you, you originally were supposed to go for place 2 on the council. So what made you decide to go ahead and jump over into the place 5 race?
Well, when I originally was going to run, I decided that I would not run against a sitting council member. Mm-hmm. And so when place 1 opened up, mm-hmm. I got in that. And then I found out that Kurt Maddox and myself, we shared voters. Mm-hmm. So that's the short answer. A lot of my friends asked me, hey, can you move? Because he had his signs up and everything, and I didn't have anything. So I said, okay, mm-hmm. I'll move over, and it's a shorter term. That might be just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why, you previously served on the council for 8 years, and then you've been off for 4 years. So what made you decide to go ahead and get back in the running for city council?
Well, I've been serving as arts liaison for the city of Conroe, and I've really gotten involved with the arts group and realized that if we needed to do some additional work, that probably I needed a vote on city council. Mm-hmm. And so some others have asked me to run, and I thought, again, that'll be a short term, so that might be the best thing in the world to do. And you know, as school teachers, we're kind of built to serve. Mm-hmm. We don't expect a whole lot of paybacks. We don't run for anything other than probably just to help people and to serve. Mm-hmm. I had the knowledge, I had the experience, and I thought, well, maybe I can help Conroe out for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of help would you want to provide for the city of Conroe? What are some of the things that you would like to kind of head up with if you were to win this position?
Well, I think the growth in Conroe is something that, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Conroe is 40%, their budget is 40% based on property tax. Mm-hmm. The other 60% comes from sales tax. Mm-hmm. So the easiest thing to do when you're short of money is to raise taxes. Mm-hmm. The hardest thing to do is to cut. Mm-hmm. I felt like with my knowledge and experience, I would be able to cut or know the areas to cut.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of areas would you be interested in? Do you think should be seen in to have cuts?
Well, hopefully we have to see what the sales tax is. Mm-hmm. We can cut in areas like refinancing old debt because interest rates are at an all-time low. Mm-hmm. So refinancing debt would be the first thing to do. I would like to always be able to give the employees a COLA raise each and every year. We probably when we send out things for bid and when we have streets, big projects, change orders cost money. So I would ask our departments to really look and try to keep from making any more change orders. Those are very expensive. Mm-hmm. I would ask all our departments to kind of see where they could cut because they know their areas better than I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, like you were just saying, the city of Conroe is growing.
You've got to speak up because it's hard for me to hear.
Like you were just saying, the city of Conroe is growing continuously. So you've got areas like Conroe Park North, which is an industrial park and has 41 residents currently. And then you have like the Dyson Technology Park, which just gained its first resident, I believe, earlier this year. So how would you promote and build up those areas to better would you want to bring more businesses in, and how would you manage that growth?
Well, the technology park was one of those things that it really sounded like a great idea. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're in the informational age. And so I think by getting the customs department at the airport would encourage foreign countries perhaps to set their businesses up in Conroe. They could fly in and not have to deal with the problems at Bush Intercontinental Airport. We've got to have somebody that can go out and sell this property. Mm-hmm. And whether we hire a firm or whatever, currently I don't think we're advertising as well. We had an individual that traveled to foreign countries, went and really promoted the industrial park. And that's why you see so many companies from Germany and from France and from England over there. So I think we have to continue that. I think Conroe is an attractive place. We have a low tax rate, and we're such a growing community that I think that would be a great place for a company. Our cultural arts are thriving, and a lot of companies look for those kind of things.
Now, with that growth, with the technology and industrial side of it, you also want to manage the historical aspect of the city of Conroe, because that is a really big part for a lot of people down here with the Crichton Theater and those buildings. So how would you, I guess, maintain the balance between the historical value of Conroe with that incoming industrial and technological growth?
That's a great idea. And a lot of towns, you know, we're fortunate in the fact that we have a downtown Conroe. The Woodlands replicated a downtown. And so we have the historical buildings, the Crichton, which is the crown jewel of downtown. So I think we have to make a concerted effort to maintain those hometown core values. At the same time, you know, we have lots of commercial growth, certainly on South Loop 336, and that's enticing to a lot of people for retail development.
So another thing that you have spoken up on is term limits. That has been an issue that has been brought up recently on the city council. Now, your belief is that the city charter should maintain the same with regards to term limits, or should any changes be made?
The city of Conroe is the only commission / council that has term limits. And, you know, term limits, this is the local level. So I believe that if you're lucky enough to be there for 8 years and you sit out 4 years and you come back, well, Conroe gets to take advantage of a candidate's experience. I am not for limiting names on a ballot. It would take 3 votes to limit the names on the ballots for 85,000 to vote. I don't believe that's right. So I believe that the voters should make the choice. Now, term limits, maybe on the national level, but we don't have lifetime candidates here in Conroe, Texas.
So what kind of experience, or I guess specific experience, do you think that you would bring to this council position seat that would really be beneficial to Conroe?
Well, I've served on council for 8 years, so I don't bring promises. What makes me unique is I actually have a voting record. I actually voted to lower taxes, and we did. I actually voted and proposed for a senior water rate, and we did. I voted for 2 fire stations and 1 state-of-the-art police station. I voted for a large raise in 2012 for our firefighters and our police. All of this was done without a tax increase. I feel like I have the knowledge, I have the experience to tackle difficult issues and to maintain a balance between the residents of Conroe and the city.
Now, there has been some question brought up regarding a home you apparently owned during a 4-lane road expansion from League Line to Carter Moore, or 3083, in which that home was purchased because you were in the area for the expansion of the road. Now, I understand you abstained from any of the votes pertaining to that property, but people still had questions considering the amount that you were given was higher than what your appraised value appeared to be. So could you just explain a little bit what happened behind that?
I was as surprised as anybody when I found that a road was going to go through my home. Conroe only has 4 to 5 north-south accesses. Here we are, a town of 85,000. We have First Street, we have Old 75, we have I-45, whose doesn't have feeder lanes all the way to Willis. We have Anderson Crossing, which is the road that went through my home. And we have Longmire. 105 goes west. My home, I had 2¼ acres. The house sat on 3/4 of an acre. And I had 1½ acres that was free and clear. It was kind of a long, narrow strip. So when I found out this was going to happen, I recused myself from all proceedings and decisions. I hired a lawyer to take care of my interest and work with the city of Conroe. The house was 2,500 square feet on 3/4 of an acre. That appraisal came in at $250,000, which at the time was a very reasonable appraisal. The rest of the land came in at $75,000 or $50,000 an acre. So the 1½, I got $75,000 for that. So then I had rental income on the bottom part of the property in the form of a kind of a small house, but it was I don't know how to describe it, like a trailer house, but it was a small 1-bedroom. I was not paid for that, but I was paid to move the house. And then I had a 24 by 18 storage unit, and I was paid for that. I got the first appraisal, and I took the first appraisal, knowing that I probably, if I held out, I could get more. But, you know, I was put into a situation where everybody's value is usually in the equity of their home. Their wealth is in the equity of their home. So consequently, that's where my wealth was. My retirement was based on a house being paid for with the taxes. So I was in a position where I couldn't sell my home to anybody but the city or to an investor that would give me a lowball bid. So the city, because I was the only house in that thoroughfare, the city did buy me out. I will say this, that the church down the road was asking more for a park soccer field than what I got for my home and property. So it wasn't an overappraisal by any means. I thought it was a fair appraisal, and I didn't try to take the city.
So is there anything else you would like to highlight, I guess, about your campaign or your ideas or policies for the city?
Well, I feel like that Conroe is a community that I love. I virtually grew up here. I wasn't born here, but I moved here when I was 20, and this community has just really embraced me. And so I feel like if I have an opportunity to give back and to serve, then that's what I want to do. I think it's very important that candidates are held accountable for what they do and what they say. So I want to run my campaign on my merits and with a positive attitude.